Welcome to the Macho Show, and I am that lady. You know me. I'm the leg lady.
Oh yeah.
Modern Medusa.
Oh yeah.
No,
So-
that's completely wrong. It's more like this.
Oh yeah.
So we're here with Mad Cat, of course. How are you doing, Senor? Gato, whatever the fuck the Spanish word is for cat.
Gato.
I believe
Gato.
it's Adonde es queso el gato.
Wait, what? What the fuck are you saying?
That means
Where
where's
is
the
the
cheese
cat?
cat? That means where's
Yeah.
the cheese cat?
Cheese cat?
Yes, it is. Where is the cheese cat?
Queso means cheese.
Okay. I know what queso is. I just got some today and I ate it
like
and it was
to
delicious.
say that to people so they think that I don't know any Spanish at all,
Oh my god.
which is true. That's the
Queso,
only
man.
phrase in Spanish I know.
Hey, I speak Spanish well enough to order lunch at the Mexican restaurant a block from me. So, because when
There
you
you
speak
go.
Spanish to the servers there, you get so much better service. It's like they're just waiting there to refill my margarita. So,
I like margarita. I had a margarita today and it was really good. Donate to paypal.me/Medusas Gorgons if you want me to have more margaritas and send you sexy selfies.
do
And
it.
go get more leggy. See, I know
Do it,
enough
nerds.
Spanish to
Yeah.
get my ass kicked in Mexico.
I'm the
And-
same way with you. I'm the same way with German. I know enough German in order to get my that mug. I need that. I need that mug.
Size matters, bitches. Hashtag size matters.
You can get a mug with my grab me by the pussy emblem on it or whatever. I don't know what the fuck's it called, the design. But I
You
showed it
should have
to
a picture of you doing this with the caption "Size matters."
Someone
Like
click.
this.
Someone make that a meme. I need that for
Well,
reasons.
See, I'd be lying to myself though, because like that's pretty much enough for me. Even like
Around.
that.
Yeah, that's
No.
Around
Around.
circumference.
No. I've been
Hey
with people
baby,
like
I'm
this
11
big.
inches
I swear.
all around.
So circumference. Get it? Because it has cum in it. Oh, there's already generated. Remember, tip your bartender 2 drink minimum.
Speaking
Loki
of
Top
drinking,
said good
I
painting.
decided to get
Thank you.
some Moscato today.
I have some of that in my
Oh,
I know what you're
dude.
saying. Moscato's not manly. Well, screw you with fucking manly. Let's get me
It's
drunk.
manly if you
Hey,
drink
hey.
it out of a beer glass.
It's manly if you drink it straight out of the bottle.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey,
Bottle
I
of-
need my manly cup. Size matters.
Oh
It's
my god, are
manly.
you really drinking it out of there?
Yes,
Well,
I am.
shit, if we're gonna do manly shit, then let me grab my let me grab my make pussy valuable again hat.
Wait, is that really
the
what
only
it
way
says?
to do that is to get rid of sex robots.
Hey, I'm a sex robot. Don't try to put me out of work.
wait, hold on. So how about them sex robots?
Hey.
Medusa, you're not a sex robot. You're a love machine.
Aww.
Hey, all I need's my
Oh my
love
God.
machine.
That is fucking hilarious.
I'm
That
just
is
a
out of here.
love
Fly.
machine. Da, 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 da,
All I
da,
need's
da.
my love machine.
Okay, I was
Hello.
trying to read a comment from the chat. Loki Top said that that said good painting. Thank you. I made them with my tit. If you want to
Oh,
buy one of
yeah.
these, donate at least, I'd say at least like $35 just to cover like shipping and shit. But yeah, either of these two, I would love to send you for. You can donate any amount, really. It doesn't really matter to me, but
Well, I mean,
you
it
know.
kind of matters because she wants some margaritas.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
margaritas.
$35 covers margaritas.
Margaritas ain't cheap. Not the good ones. See, margaritas are like tattoos. Good margaritas aren't cheap, and cheap margaritas aren't good.
Dude, I had a really good margarita today. It was like a prickly pear blackberry margarita from Flamin' Amy's, and it was fucking good as shit. I want another one. Give me more margaritas!
See, I used to be a huge margarita guy until I figured out that tequila makes me fight people, get naked, and throw up in that order.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not a huge fan of margarita or of tequila. I would love margaritas more if they used rum, honestly.
Wait, let me get this straight. Margaritas make you get naked and throw up on people?
No, I get naked, fight people, then throw up afterwards.
Hey, vomiting on people is a form of attack.
It inflicts extra 10 poison damage.
I won't lie. I drank almost like maybe half a bottle of tequila once. Not a good night. Not at all. I made a lot of bad decisions that night.
I have a video on YouTube where I drank a whole bottle of brandy.
Oh,
brandy,
no!
Was it brandy or was it
wouldn't
Scotch?
mind.
I forget which.
But tequila, no, it's too sour for me.
Last time I drank tequila, I spent the entire night on the karaoke mic, really pissing off the DJ because I found out every Guns N' Roses song is at least 2 minutes longer than you remember it being.
Oh my god.
So while it is great to just be able to sit down and just drink as much as you can while you watch a guitar solo turn yellow really slowly.
Oh my god.
that actually happened to me the last time I had tequila. I started pissing on the karaoke DJ.
Oh, was she at least hot?
See, that's what I thought he was gonna say. I was like, oh god, where is this story going? We got pissing and karaoke.
Well, he said pissed off, so I was going to go
pissed off. By the way, I want to show
Funny
off.
enough, she gave me her phone number, so.
I want to show off my new engagement ring. It's very pretty.
Oh,
Who's the new guy?
No, I just lost the other one. Like a fucking idiot. So the other one was only $1. I gotta upgrade. This one's $10.
real men get cool rings like Grim Reapers and shit.
See,
Andrew, I love you so much, but I lost the ring.
No, bro. That's why I got it for $1. That's why I got it. I bought it. Okay, I bought it for $1. And okay,
was that, 2 months worth of salary for you?
Nah. No, that'd be bad. But no, the rings that I'm actually going to use for the wedding are like black and have opal in them, so they're pretty badass looking compared to this one. This one I just wanted to have until we got married, I guess.
You know, that is the smart way to go. Because why spend so much money on an engagement ring if you're going to replace it with the wedding ring?
Right?
I don't have a cheap engagement ring.
It was like it's like my dad recently got remarried. First time I was ever the best man, and so I figured out my only duties are to not lose the fucking ring in between the time where I go into the back of the church, in the back door of the church, and by the time we're up on the stage, don't lose that fucking ring.
Oh my god! See, I wouldn't be able.
Yeah, but it was like my dad and his new wife, they didn't even have engagement rings the second time around.
Really?
So, yeah, it was just like, oh yeah, we're engaged. They didn't even bother with engagement rings, and they each just had a simple gold band as the wedding ring.
Nice. So. Yeah, mine. I mean, I just like opals, so that's why I got this one. But well, fake opals.
Isn't an opal that thing in the chick's body somewhere in this area that makes them spit out babies?
What?
An opal, that thing that produces the baby ingredients.
You're talking about ovaries?
That's the word.
What? Oh my god! I wish they were made of opals.
No, dude, he's talking about pedophiles.
Whoa! I have pedophiles inside me.
What about
pedophiles inside me? So.
Maps get zaps.
What?
What? Anyway. Okay.
All right. So on that note, I've completely killed it. let's talk about our topic today, about the Good Men's Project. Because, you know, all of us who care about men hate the Good Men's Project. They're a bunch of soulless motherfuckers. Honestly, they're just a feminist organization that teaches men bad, women God.
Oh, God damn it.
That's a good one.
Oh, or should I say, oh, woman, damn it.
Okay, so did you find this? How did you find this? I feel like I've read about this before, like when I tried to look up men's organizations.
This came out yesterday. I've known about the Good Men Project for quite some time. I just found this article in my news feed that's sent to my email every day. But the thing that pisses me off about the Good Men Project is like they actually have programs where they go into schools to teach boys not to rape.
Mm-hmm.
So are they the ones responsible for so they're the ones responsible for that shit I had to take when I was in college?
I don't know if they're directly responsible for that. I don't think they are, but I know that they subscribe to it. Because I think feminism really started that, and they're just like, hey, that's a good idea. Let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I remember when I was in college, I was out in one of the little student gathering areas smoking a cigarette, and there was some chick who was unironically telling me that we need to teach men not to rape.
Oh my God. What? I don't
understand. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not even gonna start on this. I'm gonna go get a fucking coffee and a bagel because otherwise,
oh my God.
Otherwise I'm gonna go off on someone.
Unfortunately, when you're in college, the best thing you can do is just to shut up. Because if you don't, then all of the teachers will hate you and fail you.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep your
pretty much.
Just keep your head down. Just keep your head down. Smile and nod along to the bullshit that they're obviously trying to teach you, and then
that is why when I did go to college, I just did online school, because even dealing with the professors in that small area, that was very, very, very nerve-wracking. Oh God, like some of them couldn't even speak English. I'm sorry. Some of them like literally talked like they were like 90 years old. Like like posting memes along with like scholarly fucking announcements. I'm like, what are you doing right now?
Trying to incorporate the memes into whatever scholastic shit they were trying to do, or just...
It was so bad. It was like, I don't even remember what it was. It was just like a picture of a cat, like being like, Mondays, there's some fucking retarded shit. I was like, why? Why are you sharing this with us? Oh, you trying to be hip?
I like what Straight Sith Male has said, that we should go an extra step and make rape illegal.
What? No. That would be crazy.
All right. So I'm
has anyone ever thought of that?
I'm going to start off.
That's how we stopped everyone from doing meth and heroin.
Oh, yeah.
So let me go ahead and start with the first part of this article, and we can kind of bash it. All right, so there's been a lot of this article is on the Good Men's Project. It's called Toxic Patriarchy.
My
Part
God.
1. So maybe next week we'll discuss Part 2, or whenever Part 2 comes out. There's been a lot of
Part 2.
There's a lot of awareness today around the negative effects of toxic masculinity. This growing awareness has a lot to do with activism linking toxic male behaviors to societal outcomes, such as 1 in 3 women in the U.S. will experience sexual assault, and 78% of suicides are men. So I'll stop there until we can react.
What?
Okay.
What?
Okay, yeah, I already have a couple issues to pick with that. One, that 1 in 3 has been disproven.
Well, what happened to 1 in 5 and 1 in 4? Where did 1 in 3 come in from? I don't understand.
Well, no. The 1 in 5 number is rape. 1 in 3 is sexual assault. See, they changed the wording around so they can make the number sound worse.
Weren't all, if I'm not mistaken, weren't all those numbers congregated from the same fucking study that has been disproven, that has been like shown to,
sure.
to have been
actually,
like
no, that is incorrect.
Because really,
okay, so it's not all been the same study, because we've heard about like 1 in 3 women on college campus. That was a separate study than the 1 in 5 that was produced by Mary Koss. She's also the one who did the CDC study that said that like 92% of all rapes are men to women, completely ignoring on purpose made to penetrate, which if you included that in, which Kathy Young did, then it's about 50-50. But most of the ones that we do hear about that's not related to college is based on that one, but was disproven by I forget the organization. It wasn't the FBI, but it was another
DOJ,
Bureau of Justice. Oh, Department of Justice. Yes, you are correct.
Yeah, that was
DOJ.
The one that showed like, it was like 7 out of 1,000 was the actual number.
I believe it was 1 in 81, 83, and that women are actually safer in college than outside of college.
I remember that study. It was like, they were safer on a college campus than in like the cities or towns or whatever surrounding it.
Yeah. So that has been debunked, but then they try to go in and bring male suicide into it. And you're saying that's linked to toxic masculinity? Oh, and I know where they're going to go with this. They're going to say that it's because men are not allowed to share their feelings, which is a direct result of toxic masculinity. Well, that's actually untrue. Yes, there are men out there who say like having feelings is for sissies and whatnot, but that's not even the problem. The problem is women. Does anyone remember Kill All Men hashtag? Does anyone remember Bathed in Male Tears? Does anyone remember the show What Would You Do, where they actually had a woman attacking a man and all the women walking by were like, oh yeah, you go, girl.
Even some of the men were fucking laughing and like playing along. Like it's fucking.
Yeah, it's like it's like one thing that I can't remember who it was who said it, but it was said suicide is a silent epidemic in the U.S. And then he immediately said, and it would not be considered a silent epidemic if the number was remotely skewed towards women.
Actually, it's a silent epidemic around the world. It's actually a lot worse in Russia. I believe the figure is 10-1.
God damn. God.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad in the United States. It's bad around the world. Some places are only about a 3-1. But I think, if I remember the report, and I can't remember which specifically, but there's only like one country in the world where women outdo suicide than men, but only by a very small margin. Everywhere else around the world, men are more likely to commit suicide than women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, I had 3 good friends of mine all commit suicide within a 3-month period of each other.
Oh wow.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But, in that vein, I remember the Warren Farrell, and if you've seen the Red Pill movie, you've seen this scene, or if you've ever subscribed to YouTube, where a guy is trying to get into a Warren Farrell discussion, a conference, and there are people, feminists, who are barricading the front door, preventing anyone from getting in. And then there's this one woman, it's like, why do you want to go in there? Why do you want to support a rapist? Well, you know, my friend committed suicide. I'd like to find out what's going on, you know, try to understand. It's like, well, you should be in feminism because feminism cares about men. You are just awful. You're just a rapist. You're just a rape apologist. And you're telling me that's toxic masculinity? That we live in a world where there is no empathy, there's little empathy. I won't say there's no empathy, there's little empathy for the issues that men go through. And then we get the Good Men's Project come in and try to say that, oh, it's toxic masculinity. That's the problem of men committing suicide at 4 to 5 times the rate of women.
Yeah, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Straight Male said, apparently it's a bad thing to be an MRA, which makes no sense. I'm not a men's rights activist, but I am a men's rights advocate. Which, like, yeah, either or, even if you just state that you're anything other than a feminist, then you're evil.
Yeah, it was like, it's like going back to college real quick on this. It's like I remember another thing, which is why I stopped going to this particular smoking area, was I was there smoking a cigarette, and these couple chicks from the women's studies department were talking about like fucking MRAs as if they were the devil and stuff, and I'm just like, and it's like I told them, I was like, look, I'm not a men's rights activist or anything, but it's like that the men's rights movement, they are objectively right about everything that I've seen them talk about. They are objectively correct on it.
Right, exactly.
It's like taking away everything. They are objectively correct on it.
I've never seen a men's rights activist make wildly insane claims unless they were an open, like, misogynist.
Yeah.
Next time you deal with those feminists at the smoking pit, just remind them that the patriarchy created cigarettes, and every time they're taking a puff, they're submitting to penises.
They're sucking the cock of the patriarchy.
And I can also use that psychology 101 thing that they made me take, where it's talking about where it's like Sigmund Freud with the oral fixation and shit.
I know, I got one of those. Faux show.
Let me read the next part of this.
Do it. Do it, Daddy.
This will be a little bit long, but you'll enjoy it. There are definitely a lot of interesting issues creating these outcomes. Racism, class, religion, homophobia, etc. But it's getting harder these days to claim toxic masculinity isn't one of the main factors, especially given behaviors like bypassing consent in sexual situations or refusing to seek help for depression. The Good Men's Project defines toxic masculinity as a narrow and repressive description of manhood, designating manhood as defined by violence, sex, status, and aggression. Its cultural ideal of manliness, where strength is everything, while emotions are a weakness, where sex and brutality are yardsticks by which men are measured, while supposedly feminine traits, which can range from emotional vulnerability to simply not being hypersexual, are the means by which your status as a man can be taken away.
That is such a lie.
I will start by saying I actually agree with that.
I do not think that the amount of sex you have is directly correlated to how you're respected. I feel like it is to a teeny tiny point, but it really depends on what circles of friends you have and also how you present yourself, because you could be a virgin and everyone could think that you fuck. And like it really depends. That's all I was thinking.
And it also it's like going off of what you said, it also depends on a lot of things, like whether you're someone who's just, it's like it would depend a lot on whether you're someone who's like trying to play the field, or if you're someone who's trying to sit in there and have a fucking have an actual relationship, that's definitely gonna affect that sexual factor. But
okay, so
what you're saying, Mad Cat?
Well, why do I agree with this definition? Well, yes, these are all toxic behaviors. Notice I'm not saying toxic masculinity. I'm saying toxic behaviors of men. But where are these originating from? These are originating from the alpha male, the asshole dom, the ladies' man, you know. And this is what feminism always tries to tell us, is like, these are how all men act. Well, no, this is not how all men act. Not even a small percentage of men, but a very minuscule amount. You know, the ladies' man is created by women. Women project they like this guy because he has money, he's very attractive, so we're going to put ourselves onto him and make him into something that he may not be, because we will reward him with sex, and we'll ignore all of these men over here, even though we tell them that this alpha male is what we don't want, even though that's what we keep going for. Feminism, in a whole, are creating this toxic masculinity that they claim to be against.
Right. And I mean, I just want to say, like, maybe half of the guys that I meet, no, less than that, less than half the guys that I meet are actually charismatic and super aggressive with how they talk and, like, really persuasive. Like, I don't know where these women are hanging out, but, like, 9 times out of 10, the guys that I meet are very respectful and aren't that, like, they're just almost as socially awkward as I am. Like, I don't think that I don't think that there's, like, a mass of, like, fucking fuckboys like these women are trying to portray.
Yeah, it's sorry, I got distracted by that Medusa leg, but it seems like what? Yeah, it seems like a lot of, it's like, there's something I've had an issue with these people, with people like this for a very long time. It's like they're the type of people who project what their asshole ex-boyfriend was onto everybody. That's the same thing as, it's like none of this is an actual legitimate issue. This is you who's still pussy aching over how much of a dickhead you thought your ex-boyfriend was.
Or even maybe he wasn't even that bad, but he cheated on her for someone better, and she's fucking pussy hurt about it. So
let's even go with the truth of what you're saying. They're not even that bad. It's that the woman was bad, but instead of acknowledging that she did anything wrong, she passes it on to him. Like, anytime a woman accuses a man of cheating on him, oh, I know you're cheating on me, because 9 times out of 10, it's because she's actually cheating on him and wants to get him to go on the record and to feel guilty about it, so she's in the clear from her wrongdoing.
Yeah, it's like one thing. It's like Dane Cook. He's really not that funny anymore, and he's a giant jackwagon. But he did a whole bit about that, where he talks about, like, cheating on your significant other, where he talks about, it's like, how he cheated on his girlfriend, and it's like all of a sudden he's suspicious of her, just like, oh, so you're just gonna go hang out with your mom at the mall? Show me your phone. What the fuck is going on here?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was the part about what was it, that how men take over sexual advances or something like that. It was like in the middle of the paragraph you just read, something about using, or I don't remember, using aggression to, like, overpower women or some shit like that. I can't remember what you said. Or something about sexual advances.
Let's see.
Where sex and brutality are yardsticks by which men are measured.
No, it was before that.
a narrow and repressive description of manhood, designating manhood as defined by violence, sex, status, and aggression.
I'll just hang on. Let me look at the article.
Well, something I want to bring up, because I think toxic masculinity is bullshit. But let's play their game for a moment. If there is such thing as toxic masculinity, then that means there has to be such a thing as toxic femininity. Well, we have two types of toxic people here. And, you know, when we're in math and we deal with two things that can cancel each other out, we remove them from the equation. What are we left with? Toxic people.
Exactly.
Gender the issue. There are some toxic people out there. There are some asshole bitches out there. In fact,
but they like to
talk about it. I was abused by one who was very, very toxic. And I'm not going to say, oh, it's because all women are toxic. I'm just going to say because she was toxic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you've got fucking people. There are people who are terrible fucking people who are gigantic fucking assholes no matter what fucking gender they are. Or it's like if I was a chick and the girl was a dude, they still would have fucking knifed me. It doesn't the fucking gender of them is irrelevant when you reach a certain fucking point. There are bad people no matter what.
And I mean, but they like to make it seem like men are bad and women can do no wrong, but they just kind of sweep under the rug the fact that there are female serial killers and pedophiles and fucking women who help sex traffickers and all. Do you know how many men who have done bad things were helped by a woman?
Yeah, and I will say one thing. There was a fucking couple that they were arrested for like abducting, raping, and murdering. I don't even remember how many fucking women it was that they did. It was the guy got the death penalty. The girl his wife got like 20 years with parole, with the possibility of parole. And it was because she tried to throw her fucking boyfriend under the bus on that, even though all the detectives and stuff who were who were following that case said, it's like, we have the video right here. She was just as involved as her husband, if not more.
I know the case you're talking about, and I want to clarify a couple of things on that. Because I was about to bring up this case as you brought it up. What happened is, first off, the first woman that they abducted was actually her sister.
Oh my God.
Only did they rape her, they actually killed her as well. But then they went on to rape and murder a lot of other women. Now, when it went to trial, they made basically a deal with her to turn on him to say that he was the mastermind behind all of it and she was the victim. But later, after she went to jail for 20 years, it was found a videotape where she was actually directing the husband on how to rape her own sister. But that's not the fucked up part about this, is that because of feminism, they pressured, because this was actually up in Canada, I think maybe Nova Scotia, I'm not really sure exactly where, but they pressured like the leader of the local government to release her, and they succeeded. She got released early, even though she participated in rapes and murders.
Yeah, see, well, that's the fucking problem. They like to just assume that because I doubt she was that attractive. She was raping and murdering people. But it's like, just because she sounds sad about it, like you're gonna give her a fucking deal. Yeah. Like, she's probably gonna find another dude and go fucking rape and murder some more people. Like,
and you know the crazy thing is that it's really not hard to sound like you're that fucking regretful about stuff. It's really easy to do it. Like,
yeah, but
but
guys don't fucking do that shit. They don't fucking act like victims, obviously.
Well, some
because
guys
they won't be believed.
get arrested, but they still don't get believed. But here's the thing: is it doesn't even matter if she was apologetic. It doesn't matter if she was sad. She had a vagina. She's automatically innocent. It's automatically a man.
I don't understand what it is. I was trying to think of it. Like
half the sentence. It's what is it? Men get 63% more harsher sentence just
80.
for the same fucking crime. 80?
80. Yep.
God damn.
Yeah, a lot of intersectional feminists like to say, well, black men get harsher sentences than white men. And it's like, okay, well, that's true. It's usually a difference of 5%. But the difference between men and women is 80%.
Yeah. And it's like that.
The thing. Sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like that's the case I will usually bring up. It's like the guy, he got the death penalty. The girl got 20 years.
That's fucking crazy.
Because it's like, yeah, 20 years is an exorbitant amount of time in prison. Well, the point of the matter is that she still has the possibility of getting out of prison and going home. That guy, he's not going to. He's gonna ride the fucking lightning. Which I will say, I may have my own issues with the death penalty, but yeah, it's like he should because he was a fucking animal, but so was she. Yeah,
I agree with that. Especially that there's video of her directing it, And in my opinion, I think that's a little bit worse than the actual crime of rape because you're sitting back watching it happen and commanding what people should do. And it's one thing to, like, in the spur of the moment, go and rape someone. That's bad. That's really, really bad. But it's far worse to sit there, watch it, and tell people how to rape each other.
Yeah.
Well, they probably premeditated it forever.
There's definitely was premeditation. It's like, going off of what Mac had said, it's like, that's what with Charles Manson. It's like, he wasn't even in that same town when the night the Manson murders happened, but because the prosecution and everyone who actually committed the murders flipped on him, he was pegged as the ringleader who ordered it, and he went to prison for the rest of his life because of that.
So you think that they use that as an excuse?
I mean, it's very possible. I really don't. Don't know what was inside their brains, but it's kind of going with what Mad Cat said. We're talking about, like, not only being involved in it, but being the ringleader of it.
Mm-hmm. I just never thought about it like that, so that intrigued me.
and hold on, Stone Mexican guy wants to know when the chat wants to know when the dudes are going to wear something skimpy. So.
Oh yeah, take it off, boy.
There we go.
Oh my god. Okay, you asked for it. There we go. I didn't wake up and suddenly crave rape. Oh my god. Oh, I don't. He did not. I didn't. I don't. Okay, that's a bit of a difference.
Here's the kicker: is that a lot of women wake up and crave to be raped.
Me.
No, I'm not saying that they really want to be raped, but they certainly have that fantasy. But let me read more article.
No, wait! Let me fucking say the thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, you never read it. It says, it's getting harder these days to claim toxic masculinity isn't one of the main factors, especially given behaviors like bypassing consent in sexual situations.
It's getting colder.
I just want to say, fuck you to the person that wrote that. Because women they are so fucking, it's so easy for them to bypass consent, as you phrased it, in so many situations. My ex-boyfriend fucking called me one night, the morning after, really worried, saying, yeah, this lady came up to me in the bar last night and grabbed my dick and asked me if I wanted to fuck her, and I told her no, but I felt really bad about it. Like, he felt bad for having his dick grabbed. This is how bad it is for men. You're saying that men are the fucking predators all the fucking time. My fiance didn't touch me once. I had to tell him to touch me because he wouldn't. Like, this makes no sense. Female pedophiles, get away with molesting little boys.
Yeah, it's like
all the time.
Yeah, it's like get a slap on the wrist and serve no jail time.
Yeah, it was like, I saw one thing, and these were like within a month of each other. It was like a female teacher had like the text messages, the Snapchats, the videos, and all that shit to prove that like a 30-something-year-old teacher was having sex with a like 13, 14-year-old male student.
God.
She got a fucking slap on the wrist. As there was a male teacher who, and this was in high school, who was accused of sexting two of his students, and he got fucking thrown under the bus completely.
Yeah.
It's like, look, if you are a grown-ass adult who engages in sexual activities with children, I think you should be marched straight into the showers and giving and something that isn't water yet turned on. But you know, I'm not trying to get Medusa's channel banned, but it's like if you're gonna throw the book at one fucking person, you better fucking do it across the board. Because whether it's male, female, whatever it may be, you're still a fucking sex criminal. You're still a fucking animal, and frankly, you're an abomination to humanity.
Yeah. Well, not even just like pedophiles are fucking awful, but not even just that. Yeah. Like women, little things like women who take advantage of men when they're drunk, like, or when the man or the woman is drunk, it doesn't really matter. My fiance, again, his first kiss was from a drunken woman who basically raped his face with her tongue. And he didn't want that. He didn't want that to happen, but she did it anyways. So if that's not bypassing a sexual situation or whatever the fuck, like, I don't know what it is. Like,
yeah, it was like,
girls need to learn their fucking boundaries. Like, just because you have a vagina doesn't mean that you can rub it on everything.
Well, first off, a couple of things. First off, your ex-boyfriend did sexually assault the woman that grabbed his penis because his penis did touch her.
Yep.
Putting that out there. Secondly, let's talk about some of the cases of getting a slap on the wrist. There was the Muslim substitute teacher who basically raped little boys, and when it came to sentencing, she did get convicted, and I believe this was in New Jersey, and there's a minimum of 5 years that you must serve. And she was able to convince the judge that it was her culture that she grew up with little boys being raped and got 3 years.
God, are you fucking kidding me?
Let me give you one more. There was a case in which these two sisters, and they were not pretty to look at, they were both born deaf, and they used to babysit a little boy, and one of them raped him from pretty much the ages of 8 to 13, and then the other one raped him when he was like 15 to, I think it was around 19 years old.
God.
And they were going to get convicted, but their lawyer argued that because they were both deaf, they shouldn't serve any time in prison because then the prison would have to make special concessions to the both of them. So they only got house arrest.
Are you fucking serious?
And that
I
was
thought you were going to say they couldn't hear someone coming up behind them when they dropped the soap. Sorry. That's fucked up though. What the fuck? I feel like there was a case where this woman molested an 11-year-old and then claimed that she felt like she was in the body, or she had the mind of an 11-year-old or some shit like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, god damn.
Oliver was aware of the whole thing, but said that she was intellectually an 11-year-old girl, so it was okay to have sex with an 11-year-old boy.
I'm retired.
Oh
so
my
that
god!
okay.
No!
So, I want to read this next part because we're starting to run out of some time here. So I'm going to read through these all real quick, and then we'll talk about them. But basically, we're talking about toxic masculinity and how it affects society as a whole. So these are the ways in which toxic masculinity affects society. Not all the ways, just some of the ways. Almost half of men believe the very real pay gap that pays women an average of 81 cents for every dollar that a man makes for the same work is politically motivated invention.
It is.
Women pay a pink tax that charges them for more identical products like dry cleaning, personal care products, and vehicle maintenance, averaging an additional $1,300 more per woman. The need for legislation like the Women Against Women Act and for movements like Me Too to not only protect victims of violence, but to counter the culture of victim demonization, blaming, and disbelief. And the last one, only 7 out of every 1,000 rape cases will ever lead to a conviction. This is a direct result of the number of different patriarchal conditions from a culture that stigmatizes and blames women for being raped, to the cold, invasive rape kits that often never get used, along to a significant backlog to the tendency of our justice system to re-victimize rape victims, to the apathy of law enforcement when it comes to investigating rapes. Now, I want to say one thing real quickly about this. How is it that the cold, invasive rape kits that never get used, and there's a backlog of them when they are sent in? You can't have it both ways. Either they're never used or there's a backlog.
Well, you see, that's using your noodle, and we don't allow that in our legal system when it comes to the women's. It's feels over reels. I have a lot to say in response to this shit. Almost half of men believe that the pay gap, blah 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 blah, is a politically motivated invention. It fucking is. Every credible economist who has ever fucking looked into this has shown that this fucking pay gap virtually, if not completely, vanishes when you take personal choice into account, such as the fucking chosen field, the fucking hours worked, or whether or not you decide to leave your career, or whether or not you decide to take a leave of absence or a hiatus from a career. And overtime, of course. When all that shit is taken into effect, this bullshit fucking pay gap completely fucking vanishes. And that has been proven time and motherfucking time again. And the fact that it's still around, it absolutely fucking drives me to fucking drinking. Well, one of the many things.
An interesting Teal Deer video where he looks at there's this feminist study that looks at the pay gap. Now, their conclusion was that it was at 91 cents, but he actually broke down their own study and demonstrated that there was a 3-cent difference, not a 9-cent difference. And he equated that 3-cent difference to better being able to negotiate better.
Well, yeah, that's also another thing. It's like women are less likely and not as good at negotiating for a fucking salary as men are. That's just a fucking fact. Because it's like when I go to apply for a job, I will tell them, I'm just like, look, here's the amount of money I want to make for what I bring to the table. if you don't want to, if you don't think this amount of money is worth my time and ability, then no hard feelings. We'll shake hands and I'll walk out the door.
You know what? With my recent client for ghostwriting, I negotiated my price. I mean, he wanted me to do something that I hadn't done for him before, and he's like, "What do you think it's going to be?" Now, I could have gone a lot higher, but I did what I thought was fair based on our business relationship. I could have asked for more, and he might have even given it to me. But I negotiated. I didn't just say, "Oh, well, you paid me what you think is fair." No, I said, "This is what I will do it for."
Yeah.
But maybe what we should do instead is teach women how to negotiate better. Oh my God, that's sexist to say.
I mean, frankly, I think that in like high school and stuff, there should be like a life 101 class where they teach how to like change a tire, change your oil. They'll be able to do basic adult shit, and among that is fucking negotiating for a salary or a wage that's worth your fucking time.
There should also be a class on sexual innuendos, so women will say, "Hey, baby, I'll change your oil." Hey, all these feminists want to be men. Might as well teach them how to be men.
Oh, yeah.
But let's talk about the next one, the pink tax. That has been proven time and time again. In fact, when these feminists do these videos, like, look at this. This is like a cheap razor that men have to pay for. It's only 99 cents. Here's the most expensive razor that women can use, and it's like $6.99. And it's like, you're not comparing apples to apples. And even when you do, and yes, there does seem to be a price difference, it's usually because men use their razors on a daily basis. Women use their razors on a weekly basis, and that does have an effect on the price. But that's not even the biggest contributor of the price difference. The price difference comes because women are willing to spend more money. If you want to affect the change of the prices of your products, stop spending money on those products. If you start spending money on cheaper products, the company that makes your products are going to be like, women are no longer paying for things at a higher price. I guess to remain competitive, we got to start selling things at a lower price. That's how capitalism works. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. You think everything should be socialism. I forgot.
Yeah. It's like one thing that they love to talk about is how it's like with dry cleaning or shampoos and shit. It's like I don't have hair anymore, but when I had hair, what I did, I used the same fucking bar soap that I used to like fucking wash my balls and shit. When I would use shampoo, I just walked into fucking Walmart, went to the shampoo aisle, found the cheapest fucking bottle I could find, not giving a shit about anything other than a clean head of hair, and grabbed it, walked the fuck out. It was
the cheapest shampoo is literally 99 cents, and it's like unisex, basically.
But it's like you look at women's shampoo, it's like there's so many fucking ingredients in that shit you can't fucking pronounce it. It's because you're not comparing like with like. It's like if you just want nothing more than a clean head of hair, then you're gonna pay the same amount. If you want like long, luscious, flowing locks that are moisturizing, conditioned and shit, you're gonna fucking pay the extra 50 cents.
Well, it's not even just that, but if you do compare products between men and women, like directly, like the expensive shampoos, women are still paying more. Look at the ingredients. Men don't really care about having like special things done to their hair. Yeah, maybe they want good looking hair, maybe they want volume, but they don't want as much as women do. More ingredients have to be put into women's products to facilitate their needs.
Yeah, it's like I remember I saw one thing where it was like when I'm talking about dry cleaning stuff, like comparing men's, it's like how men's dry cleaning is cheaper than women's, is because they have to go through. And I'm pretty sure there's actually mentioned in the article with dry cleaning. Yeah, it is where it's like where it talks about it's like with men's shirts and women's shirts, they have to do different things to it. Because like women's shirts are made differently. They're made out of different materials. All that shit.
Yeah, you can't starch the fuck out of a blouse.
Yeah, so there's less stuff done. It's like with a men's dress shirt, it's just starch the fuck out of it. Just starch the fuck out of it. Run an iron over it for 10 seconds and hang it up. It'll be fucking good for whatever event you're trying to go to. Well, right. For women's shirts, it's made like everything's made differently. They're made out of different fabrics and shit. They have to be cleaned in a different way. So yeah, there's going to be a fucking difference.
You have to position around certain seams and all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you can lay it straight down and just start ironing the shit out of it. I mean, I know I was in the military. I had to iron all of my clothes all the fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
And most of the time, I just laid it down, took an iron on it, put some starch on it. I was done.
Hell, when I was in the Army, half the time, it's like all I had to do was just like follow the seams from when I was first issued that shit. Just fold it exactly the right way. Always starch that shit, just hang it up, and it's good for the next year.
But you know, my favorite pink tax argument that I've heard is when feminists be like, well, we have to pay for tampons, but men get condoms for free. There's a couple of problems with this.
One, you don't leak cum out of your dick. Just saying.
Well,
let me finish this. A couple of problems. First off, you're talking about a hygiene product versus a reproductive product. Secondly, condoms are not free. Yes, they give them away to men free, but someone is still paying for the condoms. Maybe you should go to the same people giving condoms away for free and say, hey, can you buy some tampons and give them to women away for free?
Yeah. You can get them from your doctor. They'll give you some.
And 3, the reason why, and they also say that tampons are taxed and condoms are not. And this proves the pink tax. The reason why is because tampons are not considered medically necessary. They're a sanitation product, like pretty much all sanitary products, like toilet paper. We don't get a special tax exemption for toilet paper, but condoms, they are a medical thing that prevents STD and pregnancy. That's why there's no tax on it. That said, I do support tampons getting a tax-exempt status because I don't want to be around a woman who's on her period not using a tampon, because I do think that could be a medical issue. What if she has AIDS and I sit in a chair that she's been bleeding on? Now I have AIDS.
Shit, even if she's completely clean, anything that I do agree with you on this, because shit, even if she's completely fucking clean, has a complete clean bill of health from that day, it's like anything that includes bodily fluids is a fucking medical thing. It's like I don't want to be around where there's someone's bodily fluids just leaking freely.
Hot.
Not those kind of bodily fluids.
Here's another thing though. You can go to your doctor and you can get this thing called birth control that makes it so you don't have periods. I don't have periods. You can not have periods too.
Andrew is a lucky man.
But birth control is a tool of the patriarchy, even though it was women who insisted on it being released, actually early too. They didn't fully test birth control before they released it because there was a lot of pressure by feminists.
Yeah, I remember one thing that, and when I was at the smoke pit in college, it's like there was chick who had to who was reading a book called like Abortion and Birth Control and shit with for her women's studies class where it's like she's got like her panties all up in a fucking wad about how when they were first testing the pill, like they would use a sugar pill as a placebo and stuff, and she was like fucking reeing about that shit. And I'm just like, they do the same shit. I was like, they do the same shit with everything that they test. They do the same shit with fucking cancer treatments. And it's like, yeah, but these women can get pregnant without wanting to. I'm just like, does not fall on the fucking researchers.
My grandma went temporarily deaf from taking an early version of birth control. Oh, it was just completely off topic, but it's kind of interesting. She said that.
Well, what would you rather have? Lots and lots of sex and go deaf, or be able to hear everyone and have no sex?
Good question.
Not a good question for me. I'd rather go deaf. I'm half deaf anyway. Might as well be able to fucking.
I want to go deaf because I'm tired of listening to motherfuckers.
Hey, Mr. M, says GTR. I thought it said Miss M for a second. Fine. It's the patriarchy at work.
Yeah, it was like another thing where they talk about fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. It had something to do with this pink tax shit. Oh yeah, it was like I remember when there was the Hobby Lobby Supreme Court case where they were talking about how they wouldn't pay for like fucking for abortions or the Plan B or the day after pill and shit.
Why the fuck would why?
Because like they're like a devout Catholic company and the owner of it is a devout Catholic and stuff.
Yeah, but why would they want their job to pay for that? Like what?
But because in this modern day and age of everyone getting handed everything on a silver fucking plate, the idea of having to earn your own money to pay for your own shit is absolutely appalling. But like I remember there was one thing where I saw people talking about it's like, but Viagra is considered a necessity and stuff. It's like I did some research on this, and it's like Viagra is not just a boner pill for when you get whiskey dicked or when you get fucking old. Viagra is also used to treat heart conditions.
Whiskey dick.
It's also used to treat heart conditions for when you're at risk for blood clots or if you need to have your blood unthinned or whatever. It actually has a medical purpose. It's not just in order for you to get boners.
Yeah, that's actually how it started off. It's a heart medication that basically opens up your blood vessels to allow more blood to get through. And then they discovered that it had an unusual side effect of long-sustained boners.
Yeah, it's that's because like biologically speaking, your dick is just a giant blood vessel, which I found that out when I was in the Army and I was in basic training and we were doing Nick at Night, which is where you're just row crawling through like through a mile of fucking shit while you have people firing off live rounds over your head. I'm just like, is it weird that I have a boner right now? And
yes.
they were just
no.
And they were just and there's like, well, I mean, technically no, because your blood's pumping at a very high rate, and your dick's just a giant blood vessel. So
I wish I had a boner. I would love to have a dick. I would love to have a dick. You don't even know. I would fuck everything. I would probably get diseases from how much shit I would fuck.
I don't mean to sound queer, but I find live fire exercises hot.
Wait, what?
Trust me. When I first, Mad Cat, you were in the military. Do you know what a Mark 19 is?
I'm guessing a gun.
It's an automatic grenade launcher.
We didn't have those.
Oh,
I was in the Air Force, dude. I was lucky to fire an M16.
Oh, all right. Well, I was in the Army, but yeah, it was like when I remember when I first got to my unit, when we first went to our crew surf live fire, and it's like, all right, this is a Mark 19, here's what it does. It's like, any questions? Yes, can this be fired with an erection?
Oh my God!
You have to use your erection to fire it.
Yeah, it was like, hey, it's a great buffer to like set the gun against.
All right, so I want to comment on this Hobby Lobby thing because I kind of have an unpopular view, but I still want to share it. I don't agree with the idea of having to pay for abortions and Plan B, so I'll give credence to that. But what I disliked about the Hobby Lobby situation is that they tried to use religious freedom to skirt out of responsibility of helping, that makes birth control something that you can take off medically from your taxes, and are like, well, we don't support birth control, we're Catholic, so it's against our religion to do this. And it's like, that opens the floodgate that, you know, Satanists could be like, well, we don't agree with this law because it goes against our religion. Now, thankfully, no one has done it, but it still opens up that door. However, I do think that birth control should be included in your medical plan because it can be used to treat other things, such as preventing cancer or cysts on your ovaries. But that being said, you should get the standard birth control. You shouldn't get these fancy things.
Yeah, it's like, I actually agree with that. Because there are forms of birth control that are used for medical, that are used for medical shit. It's like it was like it's like an ex-girlfriend of mine. It's like she used to use the pill not just to not get pregnant, but also to like regulate her periods. Because when she was off the pill, it was like her period would be all over the place. Like she'd have like 2 in a row, or she'd go like 3 months without having a period or whatever. So yeah, it's like that shit is used for medical necessities, and therefore I do think should be like a medical thing. But it's and with the abortion thing, it's like, I don't think taxpayer money should be used to fund Planned Parenthood, purely because, not just because I am pro-choice, but it's because Planned Parenthood is a politically active organization, and there are laws that prevent public domains from being used for political activism. So just the fact that Planned Parenthood is being taxpayer funded is illegal in itself.
See, I'm pro-responsibility, and if you want an abortion, pay for it your damn self.
Exactly.
Don't get me to pay for it for you, because you know what? If I get a woman pregnant and she decides to get an abortion, most places in the United States will let her do it. Hell, if the woman decides to go to Utah, she can give it away for an adoption without my permission.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like it fucking took 2 people doing the horizontal tango in order to create the baby. In order to create that, both parties who were involved in it should have to sign off on it, unless for like exorbitant circumstances, such as the case of rape or whatever. But for the most part, on general principle, except for outstanding circumstances, it should require 2-party consent.
So I want to go into a final part of this article. Do we have time, Medusa?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally,
Women are
God, what the
property.
fuck? All right, I was about to ask how much of the article is left, and then my fucking headphones acted like a fucking retard.
There's a lot more, but I just want to go over one last point before we end the show.
Okay.
We can talk about this next week, because there's quite a bit more going on. But This talks about the idea of decenter maleness. And it talks about something called Androcentrism, which is the practice, conscious or otherwise, of placing a masculine point of view at the center of one's worldview, culture, and history, thereby culturally marginalizing femininity. So it's basically saying, oh, well, because you're a male and you choose to be a male, you're marginalizing femininity. And it says, in other words, part of the patriarchy is putting male perspective at the center of everything, from who we teach in our history class to who is accurately represented versus stereotyped in media. to who gets the benefit of the doubt in sexual assault and decriminalization cases, to what offenses are excused as locker room talk, to who gets the role in the family, to who gets paid the most for the same work, to which issues our government is debating, to which candidates are taken seriously on election nights, and so on. A patriarchal society is slanted to the benefit of men over women. And this article goes into an explanation of things that they can do to decenter men. We're going to save that one for next week. But I'm going to leave our talking point to just what I read, because there's a lot in there. But basically saying we favor men in everything we do, which is bullshit.
Provably bullshit.
Personally, me, yes.
Yeah, it's like also one thing that is always fucking ground my gears is that feminists do not know what fucking patriarchy means. Patriarchy is not like a rule of men; it is a rule of fathers, which provably, at least in the West alone, we do not have a fucking patriarchy. Seeing as over 70% of children are raised without a father.
But
So that's provably bullshit right there with just a 5-second Google search.
True.
Well, I do love this part that say, right at the beginning, it says, from who we teach in our history class. In our history class? Are you fucking kidding me? It's been proven that teachers will give girls a higher grade in their homework than boys. Yeah. And you're saying we're only teaching boys?
Yeah, no, it's like we talked about last time. The entire fucking educational system is rigged to favor how females fucking learn. They learn via the lecture, listen, and regurgitate style, whereas males learn via a kinetic, hands-on method. That's why men have always done much better in STEM fields than women have, and that could honestly be a whole show in itself.
When it comes up in the news, we will talk about it. But I do love the argument that women like to give, feminists like to give, of well, his story is his story, and it's like history is not spelled with 2 S's, dumbass. It's his story or his Tory. And what's the hell a Tory? Tory's a chick.
A Tory is or a British conservative. But yeah, honestly, hard truth bomb incoming. It's not our fault that men have done more historically than women have. That's just an objective fact.
Just like white people have done more than black people.
and in the chat from Medusa's channel for us talking about this.
Yeah, the hard Mad Cat, didn't you say that someone last week or something like that? Someone said that the heart of the world is Africa. They're not doing very good over there.
Look, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just saying that it took Japan less time to recover from 2 atomic bombs than it's taken Africa to recover from everything that's happened. I'm just saying.
That's great.
Hey, historically, it was the Africans who sold us slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are Africans going to pay others?
Slavery in Africa.
And in the Middle East, but we're not allowed to talk about that because
the serial killer said blacks have 40,000 years more years of evolution than whites.
And they followed it up by saying they couldn't get their shit together. Those are hate facts. Those are hate facts, Jack. Those are hate facts. Blocked and reported.
The origin of all mankind came from Africa. But then us white dudes got smart and moved to Europe where it was cold and miserable and invented everything. The first thing we invented, fire, because we are fucking cold.
Yeah, it's like I've had so many fucking arguments about this stuff before. They're just talking about, oh, white Europeans are the devil and stuff. They cook all this land for people. It's like, and the people who we took the land from were doing the same thing for tens of thousands of years before we even knew who they were. Nobody is innocent through history. Everyone was every civilization stands on the bones of the one that came before it. The only difference is that white Europeans were just better at it than other people. So everyone complaining about it is just a sore loser.
Okay, the other day I was looking up.
Better at it.
The other day I was looking at. I was just looking at what different days, meanings of different days, or what has happened on certain days because I'm looking for what day to do my wedding or whatever. And I looked at this one, and it was like, I think it was like June 1st or some random day, and it said on this day in history, just random little things here and there, and then it said this random like South African country celebrates its emancipation from white rule. And I was like, hang on, did I read that right? Does that really say white rule? And then underneath it said that the country had, like separated from Britain. And I was like, why do you have to label it like that? Like,
because that's how you get oppression points, you silly goose.
Yeah, but this was like a educational website. I was like, what the why? Why are you pushing social justice on me?
Trust me, goes way crazier than that.
I
remember on my previous Twitter account, I was arguing with the dude who was trying to say that white people are responsible for all the genocides in history and stuff. He was like, I was like, I was like, okay, you've clearly never looked at world history before.
It was the Aztecs.
And he was just like, okay, if you can name me one non-white culture that is responsible for more deaths than the Holocaust, and I was like, okay, the Mongols killed 50 million people. Checkmate.
There you go.
And then he was just like, oh, the Mongols were actually white. And I'm just like, okay, yep, you're officially too stupid to argue with.
Oh my god.
It was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, yep, I was like, you're not even worthy of my time anymore. I'm just ignoring you at this point.
No, that makes sense. That does make sense, since social justice warriors don't classify Asians as being a minority. Since they do better than us in everything, they are now legally white.
Oh yeah, that's right. Under the social justice hierarchy, Asians are up with whites. And JTR did point under that at 50 million people killed under Mao Zedong in China. Jack, I remember you were commenting on that. God, that guy's a fucking idiot.
One of my friends I was talking to him, and he said that he was at college or whatever, and he was talking to this Asian chick, and that he was like, hey, do you want to go to this festival this weekend? And she was like, no, I don't like being around white people. And he was like, okay, I'm white. How am I supposed to take that? Like, literally, like, what are you supposed to say to that? Like, okay, sorry, you're pretty white yourself, but all right.
See, it's like, I remember I saw one thing. It's like, whenever anyone says anything about white people, tell them to replace the word white with blacks or Jews or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my god, there are so many, like,
yeah, it's like I really don't fucking like Candace Owens. But it was like, I remember she got like a week ban from Twitter because she took something that some fucking famous social justice motherfucker said about white people and replaced the word white with Jews.
Nah.
It's like, look, I don't like Candace Owens, but Yeah, it's like you can't. It's like you can't say that ban was justified.
Yeah.
Well, that actually won't work if you say to these people, replace the word white or men with the opposite. Because actually, modern Medusa encountered this in her teens. She dealt with a woman, not a woman, a girl. She's definitely an infant. Who's like, oh, well, if you think that women are supposed to be equal to men, then that makes you a feminist. And Medusa turns around and is like, well, if you think men should be equal to women, then that means you're a men's rights activist. And she's like, no, that's not what it means. That doesn't mean that at all.
Oh God, that was the only time I've actually had like a face-to-face like debate with feminists. I think
I remember when there was just a slew of fucking articles from every fucking social justice rag on the fucking planet. They just said, and if you believe men and women, it said something along the lines of, if you believe men and women should be equal, then congratulations, you're a feminist.
Yeah. Like, nope, you can't argue, you're a feminist. And it's like, well.
Yeah, it was like, I remember the same bitch that got me banned on my last Twitter and fuck this bitch. But she said, but it's like someone's talking about like how feminists have shown their true colors when they were talking about when there was some feminist rag, I think it was like Jezebel or Mary Sue or Bitch Magazine or something. One of those three, I'm pretty sure it was, talking about it's like something, but it doesn't give enough power to women. And was talking about, it's like, well, it's just, at least feminists are now admitting that it's all about power. And she was like, oh yeah, leave it to a straight white man to tell us what feminism is all about. And I was like, okay, bitch, all right, no. Your fucking actions will always speak louder than your words.
My favorite was actually by Onionson, however you pronounce it.
Onion cunt, as Sue yourself calls it.
Onion cunt.
I mean,
TheOnion.com.
Your eyes will cry. But he said, because I identify as an egalitarian. I don't identify as feminist or men's activist. I identify as an egalitarian that I want to see equality across the board. Race, gender, class, I don't care. But I do a lot for men because that's where our attention needs to be right now. He said in a video that egalitarianism was an invention of the men's movement.
I remember that. I fucking remember that.
I remember he said like the opposite in one of his tweets like years ago. Like, I'm an egalitarian. You should check it out, guys. Like, he contradicts himself so often.
That motherfucker is such a gutless flip-flopping cunt. It's like he will. It's like how he kept trying. It's like I remember a few years ago, he kept trying to start shit with iDubbbz, so iDubbbz would do a content. Serious? Yeah, so the iDubbbz would do a content cop on him so he could get some fucking attention.
Pussy.
Yeah, and iDubbbz naturally completely ignored him and did one on like Tana Mongoose and fucking Asian Jake Paul instead.
And then Repsion fucking destroyed him. He's like, no, I didn't want this kind of fucking attention now.
Yeah.
All right, we should probably start wrapping up. Is coming upon the 90 minutes. I'm commenting in 90 minutes.
Medusa on Facebook.
What?
I sent you a picture on Facebook.
Is it my butt?
No, it's your legs.
Okay. Yeah, I did that on purpose.
I may or may not have screenshotted that for reasons. For scientific research.
I may not have done that when I get lonely at night and I put it next to my pillow.
That's completely irrelevant, and that's for after you turn off the lights, light the candles, turn all the pictures of your family down so they don't see you.
Hey, no, I like them to watch.
Which is no business of yours.
All right, Mr. Dude, you got something you want to show
Just same shit. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter at NotMrM1. This is now my 5th Twitter account because I keep getting banned.
Oh, you keep rustling them feminist feathers.
Not even always feminist. Sometimes it's commies. Sometimes it's whoever. But anyway, apparently I keep pissing off the wrong people. But
I would argue you're pissing off the right people.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, shit. Google accounts are free, so I'll keep coming back. But yeah, at NotMrM1 on Twitter. Yeah, sub to my channel. I do stuff from time to time. I like to do streams over videos because streams are more fun. If things work, there will be a Super Sunday Funday 2 Electric Boogaloo after how badly everything went to shit last weekend, and where we watch videos, laugh at morons, talk shit about e-celebs, all your favorite stuff. That's about it. That's all I got.
Heck yeah. All right, Mad Kitty, what you got?
Well, you can check out all my stuff down below. You can check out my Patreon because I'm not popular enough to be banned on there. So be sure to donate some money there. Every little bit helps. So if you only got like $1 for 1 month, that $1 helps me out a lot. Because right now, my ultimate goal is to get health insurance. But until I actually have the money to do that and to go see a doctor on a month-to-month basis, it's being used to help me with like everything else around the house, like my day-to-day life. And I really want to stop giving plasma because my body's just had enough of it. It's like, no more. And I keep like, yes, damn it. I'm pouring out my blood for medical purposes.
Oh, yeah.
But if you don't want to do Patreon because they are soulless motherfuckers, please Patreon, don't hear that last part. Donate to my PayPal, which is going to be put into the chat room, but it's also down below if you don't want to look in the chat room. Same thing there. If you're not comfortable doing either one of those things, please check out my book, How to Destroy a Woman Now, a book that I wrote in protest of the book, How to Destroy a Woman Now. Now, it's possible that book was meant as a joke, that someone in the men's movement wrote it and didn't take credit for it. We don't know. But I don't think that book should have ever been published on Amazon. And I'm not one for censorship, but that book contains a lot of bad shit in it. And by Amazon's guidelines, that should have never been published. So I put my book on there, which actually follows all of the rules that Amazon sets, but I don't think should also be on there. So if we start spending money on it, feminists are going to notice and be like, oh my God, it's the patriarchy. You know, this is just proof that Amazon hates women. So Amazon removes it, and then we can pressure them to remove the first book. And
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to say is that we're going to start looking into doing a 2020 calendar. And we're probably
Send us your nudes.
Yes, send us your nudes. We're probably going to be doing an Indiegogo campaign again this year, probably within the next few months. However, if there are any women who want to be in the calendar, contact us and we'll talk you over all the details with that. Also send us your nudes. And if you have any ideas of things that we can try doing, we are open to any ideas. Because, I mean, definitely the calendar we want to do, but we want to do more. We want to take this and really make it into something. So if you have any ideas, suggestions, hints, thoughts, discussion points, let us know.
Maybe a video, maybe a fucking something to do with art. I don't know. Something cool. We'll see. But yeah, definitely send submission. Right now, we're kind of figuring everything out still, but right now you can send submissions to either Twitter or the Lovely Ladies Calendar, or it's not the Lovely Ladies Calendar, it's just lovelyladiescalendar@gmail.com. So send your submissions to that. other than that, you know where to find me. You know what I do. And thank you to Bird of Feathers on Twitter for donating for some butt gifs. I'm gonna be making those. That was not a good one. There. I'm gonna be making
somebody clip that.
I'm gonna be making some butt gifs after this for him and posting them. Or actually, no, I'm not gonna post them because I don't post them anymore because
you're gonna send them to him.
Yes, I'm going to send them to him personally. So if you want to see GIFs or photo shoots or whatever, you can donate to paypal.me/medusasgorgons. If you want to subscribe to something, let me know, because people have been bugging me to make a subscribe star and this other thing that Dick Masterson made, but I don't want to make it if no one's actually going to donate to me. So if you want to donate to me, let me know.
Newproject2.com.
Yeah, see that just doesn't sound to me like something that people want to donate to, but I mean, I can try if you guys really want to. So all right, but you can also send me stuff like this and this and this on my fucking on my Amazon wish list.
White thing on you. I want to see the red.
Yeah,
because I'm trying to
that white shit
be
on
a little
top of you?
conservative.
Fuck that shit.
Nah, if you want to see what's underneath, you can donate.
Don't tell me I just got my tax return and I get paid tonight. And I get paid in 30 minutes.
There we go. Hey, I already told people that I send free panties with every fucking painting. So if you want a custom boob painting and some panties, let me know. But yeah, all that good stuff. My art,
links are all in the chat. I just dropped them.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us for the double X version of the Macho Show. All right.
I thought you were going to put X's on your nipples.
You
can see that if you donate to paypal.me/medusasgorgons.
Okay. Link in the chat.
You should do that, Mad Cat. You should donate to his PayPal and he'll send you pictures with X's on his titties.
See, for 21, I'm going to do X's on my nipples and then a big one right here.
Okay, that sounds good to me. All right, and subscribe to everybody here, or I'll come and find you and I'll eat your tit. All right, night.